State leaders say there are two different economic situations in Minnesota. The economy of Greater Minnesota paints a different picture that does not match the robust economy of the metropolitan area. Today, state leaders traveled to Brainerd to discuss ways to change economic policies to help Greater Minnesota or the state as a whole thrive. Our Hannah Trent has more.
Economic recovery is strong in Minnesota. Business is thriving.
We're 8th in the nation statewide. Yeah, but if you break down Greater Minnesota versus the metropolitan area, and that study looked at all 50 states, there, Greater Minnesota really compared to the metro area, we're 42nd.
At this Greater Minnesota Partnership meeting, state and local leaders talked about economic disparities with access to capital in Greater Minnesota. One example, the lack of reliable broadband service in rural areas.
You know, you're going to have this huge metropolitan economy that isn't going to be spread out throughout the state. So
the Greater Minnesota Partnership invited local businesses and organizations to become a member to give a voice for Greater Minnesota on topics like policy changes and priorities in the legislative agenda.
Where the conflict comes in is around the legislation and the policy and the ability to prioritize funding that supports the rural.
Locals want to build a stronger workforce. One initiative is to provide tax credits to businesses that provide an internship to a Minnesota post-secondary student. But there are systems in place that are developing a better workforce.
We've done a lot of work in this region to build a very outstanding and innovative local food hub.
Shoppers at Crow Wing County Food Co-op can easily find fruits and vegetables from local farms. The store has many connections with farmers from Piers, Browerville, Malacca, and Brainerd itself.
Agricultural industry is an economic engine of rural places, and agricultural industries require new ways of thinking about business.
Business is good, but not everywhere in Minnesota. A stronger connection and communication may break down those barriers. Hannah Tran, Lakeland News.
The Greater Minnesota Partnership is a public and private nonprofit corporation that was forced to stimulate economic prosperity in Greater Minnesota.
If you've enjoyed this segment of Lakeland News, please consider making a tax-deductible contribution to Lakeland Public Television.